Yes, yeah. Oh, yes, I did. So you have to shift it to StreamYard. I send you link. We are already there, so we are waiting for you. All right, so he's gonna be coming to us on StreamYard. Yeah, so he's coming. You guys can hear me very well, right? Okay, here he is. Thank you so much, brother Eugene. Thank you for showing up very quickly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's high speed, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, man.
so now let me see what can we do here. Let me organize these things.
Okay.
Uh,
Thank you, brother Ali. I'm glad you got in, brother.
What's up, family? Uh, my English is limited, understand? Because this have my brother Gilles. He helped me and introduce Portuguese to English, and I understand you better too. Understand me?
Okay, yes, sir. Black Power, brother. I can hear you loud and clear. One love.
Black power, black
very, very good.
supremacy.
Very, very good. Yeah, thank you so much, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen. My name is Imani Hanipo. I'm talking to you from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and I think we already late too long, but no problem. We can definitely still go ahead and move on with our program. So let me take my time first to appreciate you, Mr. Jamal, for
Yeah.
taking your time and come to have a conversation with us. So let me give you time first to introduce yourself, to give us some background who you are in Brazil.
Hello.
Yes.
If you prefer, because you have people from Brazil, brothers, listen me in Portuguese. I think it's better I talk Portuguese. Brother Gilles traduce English. Is good?
Yeah, no problem, definitely.
No
There's no
problem.
problem
Okay.
there. Yes.
Yeah. First, my name is Ali Jamal Adesoji, African name. I am sorry. I am activist. I am activist much years. My family is a family activist. My grandfather named Benjamin Madruga. He's born an African slave woman in Brazil. Brazil history in Africans in Brazil is very problem because you know have connection to others diaspora because the white supremacy in Brazil is perfect. Understand me? Is what whites want to work there in America work here in Brazil because the Latin people is white people. No existe Latin African, no existe black Latino. Existe only blacks. Black in America, black in South America and Central and Africa, only blacks. But now I speak in Portuguese. Portuguese is better understanding.
Okay, go ahead. You can use it. Portuguese. Your friend will translate for us.
Yes, ok. O que eu estou querendo falar, né, é que tem que existir uma conexão, porque os africanos aqui no Brasil foram barrados e foi tirado o direito da nossa conexão com a África e da nossa conexão com os irmãos em todas as diásporas, seja na Jamaica, no Haiti, nos Estados Unidos, no Canadá, entre outros países, entendeu? E pelo fato da gente falar a língua portuguesa, atrapalha também a nossa aproximação. Historicamente, palavras como nacionalistas pretos, né, como Marcus Garvey, entre outros, historicamente foi barrado do Brasil. A gente foi tirado o direito nosso de conhecer os nossos heróis. Os heróis que chegaram aqui foram aqueles infiltrados, né, foi filtrado, foram escolhidos a dedo para a gente ter um certo limite. O Brasil foi o último país do mundo a abolir a escravidão e foi o primeiro país do mundo a ter escravidão. O Brasil ainda até hoje, nos dias de hoje, tem um sistema de escravidão. Poucos falam nisso, mas ainda tem um sistema de escravidão. Nós estamos isolados, embora os pretos, os africanos sejam maioria aqui neste território, nós estamos isolados da África, nós estamos isolados dos nossos irmãos da diáspora e nos foi privado do direito de saber quem nós somos. Então, aquele direito, aquela coisa básica de saber eu sou uma pessoa negra, a gente não tem esse conhecimento, embora nós sejamos a grande maioria de toda a diáspora no mundo, né, dos africanos em diáspora no mundo, nós somos a maioria, mas uma maioria que não tem significância comparado com a luta mundial e comparado ao que os nossos ancestrais fizeram há 100 anos atrás, por exemplo. A luta que eles barraram aqui no Brasil foi totalmente destruída, as suas raízes foram destruídas e foi introduzida um novo modelo de luta que é para muitas poucas pessoas, que não está conectado com a África, não está conectado com o nacionalismo preto.
Let him translate now. Go ahead.
I'm trying my best. So basically what he said is that the Black experience in Brazil is very, very complicated because they're behind in many different aspects, like identities such as African nationalism, Pan-Africanism. It's not as prominent in Brazil because there's a lack of connection between the modern Black Brazilian population and Africa, as well as other countries in the African diaspora. And what he also mentioned is the fact that Black people in Brazil, or people of African descent, are the majority of the population. And there's many different links that you can find within Brazilian culture that identifies this, but there's not a consciousness of Africanity, and there's not a consciousness of wanting to build those links across the diaspora. And, you know, people are just now beginning to find out who Marcus Garvey is, who people like Malcolm X are, who these prominent African leaders are. But the problem is that you have there's a very, very complicated relationship between the way that white supremacy works in Brazil, because Brazil was one of the last, or the last country to officially abolish chattel slavery in 1888. And even today, there are still vestiges of enslavement against the Black Brazilian population. So it's very, very difficult to advance the struggle of Black people within those conditions.
Very good. Thank you so much. You see, that's the good thing about our community as Black people of the world. We are everywhere and we speak every language. So for that reason, you will be shocked everywhere you go. We have so many different languages. So it should not be shocking anybody that we cannot we have to figure out how to communicate among ourselves. That's why, in fact, we are advocating Swahili to be able to create, kind of to bridge the gap between our languages, and so we can feel that sense of oneness. Now, I got a question for him, as he said, and I would like you to translate this to him. In Brazil, Black population is more than the population of Kenya is around 56 million. 56 million, that is Black people in Brazil, whereas Kenyan population are 54 million. So they are more than Kenya. Now, how did this happen? How come Brazil is the first country in Western Hemisphere or in Western world that have this too many Black people? Why? What happened? How did this happen?
Você pode falar sobre a manifestação da escravidão no Brasil, e você pode falar sobre a composição genética dos pretos no Brasil. Muitas pessoas falam sobre isso, e eles devem compreender qual porcento do Brasil é preto na realidade. Você compreende? Oh, he's mute.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Am I the one?
Aqui, estão me ouvindo? Tá me ouvindo? You listen?
Sim, sim, sim.
Ok. Eu compreendo. Pena que não tem um mapa aqui, que eu podia mostrar um mapa enquanto eu vou falando, né? Porque o sistema de escravidão no Brasil, o Brasil, como vocês sabem, né, ele foi colonizado pelos portugueses, né? Os portugueses foram os primeiros povos os primeiros europeus a invadir a África e saquear a África para sequestrar os nossos ancestrais, né? Então, consequentemente, pelo Brasil pertencer a Portugal, grande parte desses ancestrais primeiro vieram para o Brasil, né, pelo Oceano Atlântico, e depois foram indo para as outras partes da América, para a América Central e a América do Norte, entendeu? Por questão de tempo, a primeira migração, os primeiros sequestrados africanos que chegaram no Brasil, né, foram os povos ali do porto ali da Mauritânia, os povos do Senegal. Depois teve muitas revoltas e os portugueses resolveram descer para Angola, entendeu? Então, para a região de Angola. Então, a partir do porto de Angola, eles começaram a mandar grande parte dos africanos para o Brasil. E logo após isso, alguns anos depois, foi para o porto ali da região do Benin. Então, foram muitos africanos da Nigéria, que foi a última migração. Fui na Nigéria, Benin, Togo, Camarões e outros povos ali que eram, quando foram sequestrados, eram mandados para aqueles portos. Até no Quênia, eu ouvi falar que no Quênia tem pessoas do Quênia que vieram sequestradas para o Brasil também, entendeu? Vieram ancestrais do Quênia também, do Sudão também, já nessa migração que veio do Benin, que já era na África Ocidental. Mas grande parte desse tempo foi o pessoal banto, né? Os ancestrais bantos que eram de Angola, né?
So basically what he said is, and I want to follow up a little bit after those comments, but he said that some of the earliest enslaved Africans by the Portuguese and by other Latin-speaking populations, such as Spain and Italy, came from Mauritania and Senegal. And that was kind of the first group of enslaved Africans to reach Brazil in South America. Then you had some Africans from Benin, some Africans from Angola, some Africans from Cameroon and Nigeria. They were all trafficked to Brazil. And he also mentioned some Africans from Kenya in the East African slave trade. There are records of them even coming to Brazil. And I have a bit of a follow-up to build on this conversation. Você dizer qual é a porcentagem real dos negros no Brasil? E você sabe sobre o comércio ilegal de escravos, comércio ilegal depois de 1807. Raul estudioso.
Sim, teve. Uma outra observação que eu queria anexar. Eu tô falando Nigéria, Angola, esses países, porque eu, particularmente, eu não acredito nessas fronteiras que tem hoje na África. Eu acredito que tem povos, tem etnias, entendeu? Tem por exemplo, Yorubás, Hausas, entre outros povos, são nações. Eu não acredito nessas fronteiras da África. Eu estou falando isso só como referência para eles entenderem. Só fala isso para eles.
Sim. So what he's saying is that he doesn't believe in these colonial boundaries. He would prefer to speak about Africa in terms of Igbos, Yorubas, Hausa. He's just using these colonial boundaries as a way for us to understand the exact deal of what he's talking about. And há estudioso americano que falou sobre a escravização e o tráfico de escravos do Nilo pelos otomanos para o Brasil e os EUA. Ele falou sobre a bandeira do o líder do comércio ilegal de escravos depois 1807, right? So você possa falar sobre isso?
Eu sei que eles vieram ali pelo porto. Aqui no Brasil, os antigos chamavam de negros Minas. Negros Minas. Por que negros Minas? Porque eram os africanos que vieram pelo porto de Mina, né? O porto de Mina, que é da África Ocidental. Nesse porto vieram os ancestrais, não só da Nigéria, Benin, Camarões, mas vieram os povos do Nilo também, que quando eles eram escravizados, eles eram mandados por esse porto pela aproximação, entendeu? Já que não tinha mais o porto da Mauritânia e o porto de Angola estava muito longe, esse porto do Minas, que é na região do Benin, ele era o mais próximo que pegava os povos do Nilo. Entre os povos do Nilo estava o povo do Quênia, né? Eu descobri até algumas pessoas conhecidas que foram fazer o teste genético do Quênia, né? Para mim foi uma novidade, nem eu sabia disso. Mas para você ter ideia, né? Eu conheci uma irmã que ela descobriu que o ancestral dela, o bisavô dela, ele era do povo do Marrocos, do sul do Marrocos.
Uau!
Então, tem uma variedade que a gente não tem ideia, que a gente não descobriu ainda, entendeu?
Wow. So what he's dealing with is he's speaking about some new information that he's learning about the enslaved Africans of Brazil, and the fact that in Brazil there's a group of Black Brazilians, Afro-Brazilians, called the Povo Mina, or the people from Mina, and they were from a port called Mina that was controlled by Portugal. And what he's saying is that there was a trade of Africans between different areas from Benin to Angola. And he also found some information about some trafficking during the illegal slave trade that came from the Nile Valley and went all the way into Brazil, commanded by the Portuguese as they were trading in between with the Ottomans. I mentioned a scholar in my follow-up question by the name of Gerald Horn. And Gerald Horn has a lot of data about the enslavement of Africans in Brazil during the illegal slave trade. And a good portion of them came from the East African area of the slave trade and was trafficked across the Atlantic. And he also mentioned a Black woman that he met in Brazil, and her great-grandmother was actually from Morocco. She would have been one of the original, Imohag, Tamashek, Berbers, quote unquote, or Amazigh people of Morocco, and they were trafficked to Brazil. So there's a very complex relationship all across the continent, not just West and Central Africa, but the Black population of Brazil pulls from multiple ancestries.
Very good. So now I have another question regarding the representation in the government. How Black people are represented in Brazilian government?
Tu que traduza para os irmãos ouvir, eu entendi, mas tu traduz.
Como estão os negros está no governo do Brasil? Como está? Quantos negros trabalhar no governo do Brasil?
Então, vocês conhecem aqueles bonecos que ficam em vitrine? O que acontece? O Brasil, ele foi o último país a abolir, ele foi o último país, tudo que é relacionado à questão racial, o Brasil sempre ele é o último. O que acontece agora? O Brasil sempre proibiu os negros de participar dos governos deles, entendeu? Mesmo os negros participando de partido, o Brasil sempre proibiu. Então, com a pressão da ONU, que já é então, a gente está num nível tão abaixo que, tipo assim, ó, nos Estados Unidos, tu vê aquela presença da população negra nos governos, consumindo, mesmo assim é um sistema de supremacia branca. Aqui no Brasil, não existe isso, tu não vê as pessoas tendo o básico, tendo uma casa, tendo um carro. Então, tu não vê as pessoas no governo, e quando tu vê essas pessoas, é por alguma razão relacionado à eleição, a ter voto, e agora existe uma pressão mundial sobre o Brasil para ter mais diversidade, né? Porque o mundo, a agenda do mundo hoje é a diversidade. Então, existe uma pressão da ONU sobre o Brasil pelo fato de quantidade de pessoas negras que tem no Brasil, para colocar elas em evidência em alguma coisa, pelo menos para as pessoas olharem que tem alguma pessoa negra dentro de algum governo. Então, assim, agora nós tivemos um governo que saiu agora, que foi do Bolsonaro, né, que é um governo mais ou menos próximo do Trump, é um governo supremacista branco mais direto, né, como o Ku Klux Klan, é um governo Ku Klux Klan mesmo, entendeu? Sem filtro, que ele colocava uns duas, três pessoas negras de segurança atrás, amigo dele, que ele falava que era amigo, que ele ficava fazendo piada com eles, né, piadas racistas, e eram os representantes negros. E agora entrou o Lula, né, que é um governo de esquerda, um governo democrático, com aquela agenda que é a mesma agenda que tem nos Estados Unidos agora dos democratas, né?
Do Biden. A maioria
Biden, né?
A maioria dos negros, eles são no Partido dos Trabalhadores.
Sim, sim.
O PT.
A maioria dos... Não é a maioria, mas a militância negra no Brasil, ela está no lado da democracia, da esquerda, até... Existe aqui no Brasil ainda as pessoas não sabem o que é socialismo e democracia, então mistura tudo, acho que é a mesma coisa, entendeu?
Mas quantos negros são bolsonaristas? Quantos negros, como Neymar e outras?
Então... Os negros bolsonaristas, ou eles são jogadores de futebol, ou eles são aquela classe muito pobre que não tem, só pensa em trabalhar e ir para casa, entendeu? São aquelas pessoas que não quer trabalhar e quer ir para casa, entendeu? Então eles acreditam que um negro é ladrão porque eles não têm uma consciência básica do que se é negro. Então o Bolsonaro fala que tem que matar os negros ladrões e eles concordam, entendeu? Porque eles acham que isso é segurança, entendeu?
So there's
Então,
a lot there. I'm going to translate a little bit. So what he's basically saying is that in Brazil, Black people are not as forward as Black people in America, and that there's a lot of like white supremacy in Brazil, and it's very difficult for Black people to be represented within governmental positions because it's still seen as like a white endeavor. And what he also said is that there's a lot of similarities. Like you could use Black Lives Matter in the United States, or you could use, when you talk about the Movimento Negro, or just like Black radicals, they're typically more associated with the left. So in Brazil, that would be the Workers' Party, or the PT, Partido dos Trabalhadores. And in America, that would be the Democratic Party. But you do see some Black people sometimes on the right with Bolsonaro, the Bolsonaristas. And according to Ali, usually these are, wealthy football players or people with a lot of money, or they're ignorant, poor Black people who don't really have a political consciousness. They'd be what you call a low information voter. And they're easily fooled by a lot of the promises that, Bolsonaro gives in terms of securing the favelas, providing some assurances for the population. So there's not necessarily a cohesive link to unify Black people in Brazil. And there's more of a need of kind of like revolutionary organization to wake people up and give them what they need.
Yeah, for sure, brother.
Go ahead, brother Eugene.
Yeah. I'd like to follow up with that as a rebuttal. And certainly that is some of the things that we're experiencing here in the United States as well. We also call this place the United Snakes of America. But to be able to voice really what's happening there, that is certainly some very vital information that we can cross-share in helping to build the movement. How big is the Black movement overall in Brazil? Are the people seem to be united to each other when it comes to, say, even demonstrating for a certain cause or to stand up to defend themselves? If they have like some type of atrocity that they feel that the Black community is being affected by, is it the same way as we have here, Black Lives Matter? Would they come together as a unified front of people to at least confront those parties that they feel threatened by? Is that something that is there as well?
Qual grande é o movimento negro no Brasil? Qual mais popular é que eles estão unidos contra o movimento racismo, o movimento dos bolsonaristas? Eles são como vidas negras importam nos Estados Unidos? Qual popular é o movimento negro no Brasil entre os pretos?
Eu vou falar duas situações diferentes, né? Primeiro eu vou falar, tem um movimento negro chamado MNU, Movimento Negro Unificado. O MNU, ele é um movimento negro histórico que tem aqui no Brasil, né? Ele tem desde 1970, da década de 70. Ele é um movimento que foi um dos primeiros movimentos, assim, dessa nova geração, né? A lutar contra o racismo de uma maneira até mais democrática, né? Pregando a democracia e dando propostas para a política brasileira com relação ao racismo, né? Nós tivemos o Abdias do Nascimento, que foi um pan-africanista, né? Que já faleceu. Tivemos o Caô também, que os dois entraram na política, eles eram ativistas, né? Hoje a gente tem o mestre Walter Passos, que ele está muito mal de saúde, que foi um dos primeiros pan-africanistas. Mas como movimento, a gente teve o MNU, Movimento Negro Unificado. Ele não era nacionalista preto, ele era um movimento negro pela democracia, com ativistas reais que tinham uma luta para incorporar os negros dentro da sociedade brasileira. Ainda tem essa luta, né? Então, basicamente, a luta negra no Brasil, ela é centrada em tentar incorporar os negros no Brasil de alguma forma, entendeu? E existem os novos movimentos negros. Os novos movimentos negros são como o Black Lives Matter para pior, né? Então, eles são aqueles patrocinados pelos Black Lives Matter ou não, ou querem aparecer de alguma forma na mídia, querem ter espaço nos canais de televisão para branco, né? Esses canais de televisão agora estão começando a colocar pessoas negras porque eles olham os Estados Unidos e olham nos Estados Unidos que existe pessoas negras na televisão, entendeu? Sendo que os Estados Unidos tem 15% da população negra e aqui não aparece ninguém. Então, por pressão, essas pessoas negras estão começando a aparecer. E muitos são esses novos ativistas negros que têm aquela proposta que estão relacionados a tentar incorporar, assimilar os negros na sociedade brasileira. A militância... Eu sou fruto da militância do MNU, porque o meu pai era ativista do MNU, ele tinha uma ligação já com aquele movimento democrático negro, né? Então, quando eu entrei em contato com o nacionalismo preto, né, e com o garveísmo e o pan-africanismo, isso teve um choque com as pessoas que me ensinaram, com muitos mestres que eu tive choque com eles tiveram choque comigo, demorou alguns anos para eles me compreenderem e eu compreender eles em ambos os lados, mas a luta do nacionalismo preto no Brasil ela é muito limitada, contamos nos dedos das mãos quem são.
Ali, eu tenho uma questão. Qual é a diferença entre a Frente Negra Brasileira e o Movimento Negro Unificado?
Porque isso é um assunto que eu ia entrar era um outro assunto que eu queria falar. Porque a Frente Negra Brasileira, ela é antiga, ela é uma outra linha de pensamento dentro da luta negra, antes do movimento negro que a gente conhece hoje. A Frente Negra, ela está mais relacionada, sim, com a luta pela independência e autogestão do povo preto, né? Até, na verdade, o grande erro da Frente Negra foi tentar entrar no partido político, né? Foi aí que ela quebrou de vez e caiu de vez. E quando o antigo presidente Getúlio Vargas, que é similar ao Lula, ele resolveu incorporar a cultura negra no Brasil, porque antes ela era uma cultura que não era aceita pelo Brasil, mas ele viu que seria algo para fazer uma propaganda, né, do Brasil, e ele resolveu destruir com a Frente Negra, porque ele achava a Frente Negra muito radical, porque não podia ter negros juntos, né. Então, a Frente Negra é uma luta que veio na época pós-escravidão, né? São daqueles irmãos que estavam construindo quilombos e alguns foram para cidades e viram a necessidade de organizar as famílias deles, né? Organizar os filhos dele e construir uma sociedade só negra, que é muito similar ao que acontece na luta nos Estados Unidos, mas isso foi totalmente destruído no Brasil. Hoje temos alguns resquícios disso, por exemplo, na minha cidade tem o Clube Fica Aí, que é um clube negro que o pessoal está tentando recuperar, mas essa nova geração só quer casar com pessoas brancas e querem entrar na universidade e dão as costas às coisas antigas, né? Então, existe uma diferença entre o movimento negro e a luta dos nossos mais antigos, que são a Frente Negra e os quilombos, né? Que são uma outra linha, uma outra linha de pensamento. O que conecta os antigos aos dias de hoje somos nós, os nacionalistas pretos, os garveístas, que a gente está tentando recuperar aquilo que os antigos estavam tentando fazer, entendeu? E o movimento negro de hoje, moderno, ele é o que domina a luta negra, entendeu?
So there's a lot there. So I asked him a few questions about, like, there's some differences when you're dealing with what's called the Movimento Negro, or the Black movement in Brazil, versus, more classical Garveyite movements. There's a movement that he mentioned called the Frente Negra Brasileira, or the Black Front of Brazil. And this was a more Garveyite Pan-Africanist movement that was organized by Arlinda Veiga dos Santos after the revolution of 1930. And it was the first modern national organization of Africans in Brazil. it was suspended. It was formed in 1931, and it was suspended by President Vargas, as Brother Ali mentioned, because of propaganda and white supremacist campaigns against Black autonomy. And one important thing that Ali mentioned was the fact that that movement, the Black Front of Brazil, is a continuation of anti-colonial, anti-slavery rebellions in Brazil, such as the Os Males da Bahia, or the Males of Bahia, and the Quilombos who existed in Brazil. They were some of the first Black African-centered revolutionary maroon communities against slavery in the New World. But the difference between the Black movement and those movements is that the Black movement is more amenable to Marxism. It's more amenable to things like queer theory. It's more amenable to things that are associated with the white left. And it's not really connected to that classical Garveyite Pan-African nationalist resistance movements that brothers and sisters were building in the classical period against white supremacy, colonialism, et cetera, et cetera. And you also have a Brazilian analog to the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's actually worse because in many ways, they're just copying just different things that they've seen in the United States from social media. And it's not really an authentic or organic movement. It's more so a movement that's in imitation, and it's not really leading to any real world progress on the behalf of Black people on the ground in Brazil.
Thank you so much. Yeah, by the way, Black Lives Matter, even in America as well, if you guys have not checked out the documentary about Black Lives Matter, it's not really for Black people. It's one of those organizations that we have that is called to be Black, but is actually the white people hand that is manipulating those organizations. There is so many organizations, Black Caucus, what is that, WANCP, whatever it is.
NAACP.
And there is so many of them. You guys, what I'm talking about. So Black Lives Matter is not a good example of an organization that Black people should take on in Brazil. And in fact, I think if they have take a good direction, I would suggest maybe to go with New Black Panther Party. I think there may be.
Well, Ali mentioned that. Ali mentioned that.
Yeah. So New Black Panther Party, I think I can trust them some degree to be revolutionaries. Or like economic freedom fighter from South Africa. Those also are 100% people that you can take example of them. But if you look on the Black Panther, new Black Lives Matter, you are lost your way. So now moving on, I was gonna give a little introduction to Dr. Bumni, but she left already. So moving on, I got another questions I want to ask you, Mr. Jamal. One question is that you guys in Brazil, as I keep mentioning this, because this is very important, majority numerical is always important on anything you do. So you guys, you are majority in Brazil. And as you know, Pan-Africanism was born in Jamaica and Haiti and Trinidad, in those areas, in fact. So are you guys connected, your Black, African or Pan-African movements going on in Brazil? It doesn't matter if it's small or not, but are you guys connected with Black people in Jamaica, Haiti, or Colombia, or Venezuela, or Cuba, or somewhere?
He mentioned that a little bit, that the majority of the movements in Brazil are linked with the left, Marxist, communist. They're not really Pan-African, or the majority of the Black movement. The Black movement is more so leftist. There's not such a strong connection with other Black people in the diaspora, according to the politics on the ground.
Okay, so pretty much there's nothing there.
And he's mute. I think he's trying to say something.
Ou assim, não existe a conexão, além de não existir essa conexão, porque não existe a ideologia para conectar, não existe a ideologia nacionalista preta aqui, ou pan-africanismo aqui, para conectar com com os irmãos na Jamaica, com os irmãos no Haiti, com os irmãos nos Estados Unidos e com os irmãos na África. O que vai conectar nós é a ideologia, garveísmo, nacionalismo preto, pan-africanismo. Não existe essa ideologia. Quando eu digo que não existe, é porque os pan-africanistas aqui no Brasil, os nacionalistas pretos, são 50, 100 pessoas, não são muitas pessoas. Então, pela quantidade que tem, não existe. Então, não existe essa conexão e não existe o interesse do movimento negro para se conectar. Por quê? Porque as pessoas do nacionalismo preto são consideradas até terroristas. Aqui no Brasil estão chamando de fascistas, né? Quem segue Garvey. Eles querem se conectar com quem vai dar algo a eles, quem vai dar visibilidade a eles, que vai dar dinheiro a eles, e não somente o marxismo, que a maioria tem uma conexão marxista, mas nem somente o marxismo, mas a questão democrática, de ser aceito pelo sistema, essas coisas modernas, que estão muito modernas na luta do movimento negro hoje, né? Então, não existe o conhecimento, e não só o conhecimento, tem pessoas que têm o conhecimento dentro dos ativistas, mas não têm o interesse e são contra essa ideologia preta. Então, no momento que tiver pessoas com a ideologia preta no Brasil, eles vão conseguir se conectar com Gana, por exemplo. Gana, existe um projeto que os irmãos da Jamaica e dos Estados Unidos estão indo para lá, que no Brasil ninguém sabe que está acontecendo isso, entendeu? Então... não existe essa possibilidade, não existe, a gente não sabe, a gente nem sabe que a gente é africano, a gente nem sabe que a gente veio da África, a gente acha que a África é algo sujo, grande parte dos negros aqui no Brasil negam a África. Então, como que eles vão ter conhecimento disso se é negado o básico a eles? Tipo, os negros agora estão descobrindo que são humanos. Entendeu? Há pouco tempo atrás, nem humanos a gente era considerado. E isso eu estou falando, tem partes aqui do Brasil que ainda não considera a gente humano, nos interiores do Brasil, entendeu?
And so basically what he's saying is that it is extremely difficult for any type of Pan-African consciousness to arise in Brazil, mainly because the ideology isn't there. There's not really a consciousness of the ideology, especially in comparison to like Marxism. When you're dealing with, Black movements in Brazil, Marxism is more developed and there's a lot of institutions behind it, whereas people with an African-centered framework, they don't really have the consciousness to understand that there is an entire world of Black people and that we should work together and that we should be able to do great things together. If you look at Jamaica and how a lot of Jamaicans are making connections with their ancestors in the Akan of Ghana, you don't really see that among, Black Brazilian populations. You actually see propaganda where they depict anybody associated with Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, or any type of Pan-African nationalism as terrorist, as fascist. So you even have white liberals and even some Black leftists who are fear-mongering away from an independent African-centered reality by associating it with the far right and with white supremacy. So the lack of consciousness and even the fear-mongering against independent African ideology is a really big limit for Black people in Brazil. And the Black Brazilian population needs the institutional development and investment in order to be able to have the same level of output as other populations of Black people around the world.
Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely. I think I believe that Black people, we must stop this idea of Marxism, capitalism, socialism. All of those ism are not from Africa. They're not ours. So there is no need of as Africans to be part of any of those, because we actually lost many leaders in the middle of those two conflicts. Some is leftist, another is rightist. Left of what? Because the middle one is not African. Okay, the middle one, when you say you are left wing or right wing, that means the wing is on something, and that thing is not Africa. So we must stop those, and we are true Pan-African. Pan-African means that we only stand for Black race, and we only stand for United States of Africa first. before we can move any other thing. And Africa is our home. That's where we belong to. Even if we can live in another country, but at the end of the day, we belong to Africa. We should have access to Africa more than anybody. If we want to go back to live in another place, no problem. But at the end of the day, Africa must stand first. So now I got a question. There's something he mentioned there, but I want to come a little closer to it. It's about the plan. So we have tragedy with a big country, I can say Brazil, with number of Black people are more than Kenyans citizens. And as you can see how Kenyans are developed and they are well known everywhere. So that should be how Black Brazilians are well known everywhere, but it's not the case. So what is the plan? What should we do? In short, I want him to answer these questions in very, very short pieces so we can keep tracking. So what should have been done? What should we do now from now on? Because the time gone is forgiven, but from now, what should we do to bring, what is the plan? What is the plan in general?
I want to say that the 56 million number that you use is a little bit complicated because of the way that race is defined in Brazil, and in the sense that like there are people who may be really, really dark skinned, but they would identify as branco or white or moreno, right? So it's not necessarily that there are millions and millions and millions of people who don't identify as Black, and it's not necessarily something that you're going to find through genetic studies or even census data, which is really, really questionable and confusing when you get into the nitty-gritty of the methodology. But o que devemos fazer para construir uma relação muito forte entre pretos no Brasil, os Estados Unidos, no continente da África? O que devemos fazer?
Go finish. You are muted.
Ok, então, listen. Okay. Antes de tudo, trabalhar o poder, né? Se a gente não trabalha o poder, a gente não consegue nada. Trabalhar o poder e trabalhar a economia junto para poder trabalhar a nação preta como uma nação única, né? Como que a gente vai fazer isso? São situações diferentes nos Estados Unidos, situação diferente na Jamaica, situação diferente no Brasil, situação diferente na África. Cada região tem uma situação diferente, são situações diferentes que devem ser trabalhadas e são situações bem complexas, né? No Brasil, o povo negro ele ainda está acostumado com a escravidão, né? A gente ainda aceita a escravidão como algo normal. A cultura da escravidão sobre o povo negro, a cultura da supremacia branca, que até em alguns países democráticos, né, que tenha uma agenda democrática, que ela é antinegra, só que nesses países é uma coisa ultrapassada, porque é aquele racismo que tinha nos Estados Unidos em 1800. Os negros no Brasil estão vivendo isso agora, entendeu? E eles têm entre eles essa cultura ainda. Então, hoje em dia, para te destruir um nacionalista preto, tu não precisa de um branco fazer isso no Brasil. Os negros fazem isso, entendeu? Tanto que nós que tentamos passar a mensagem do nacionalismo preto, os negros não aceitam, porque eles têm aquela ideia de querer ser aceitos pelos brancos, que os brancos vão dar a solução. Então, especificamente no Brasil, a gente tem que dar para os negros aqui o que é o básico, que eles não têm o básico, eles não têm a comida, grande parte não tem comida, não tem casa, não tem carro. Quem dá isso para eles? Quando alguns têm. Quando alguns conseguem, quem dá isso para eles? Quem oferece isso para eles? São as pessoas brancas, entendeu? São os outros povos. A gente tem que... Oi, pode falar.
Eu tenho uma questão. Você acha que a propaganda de Sergio Pena é ruim quando se trata da identidade preta? Sabemos que existem muitas falhas nos estudos genéticos e estudiosos como o Clyde Winters e estudiosos como El Hayek que falam sobre as muitas faltas da estudias genéticas. E você acha que este propaganda é problemático sobre construindo uma relação comércio entre os pretos no Brasil?
Isso é muito problemático, mas isso é um assunto que, se a gente for parar para falar sobre isso, a gente vai ficar falando só sobre esse assunto, porque as pessoas, infelizmente, aqui no Brasil, em função não só do fator, mas principalmente do fator genético, o fator genético muitas vezes faz mal para a mente e para o corpo dessas pessoas, né? Então, o fator genético, essa mistura genética que teve no Brasil foi destrutiva na mente e no espírito, no corpo das pessoas negras. Então, muitas pessoas negras que a gente vê que são negras, na verdade, não são negras, não têm atitude de pessoas negras e vão fazer de tudo para destruir uma pessoa negra que vai lutar para elevar seu povo. Isso está ligado à questão genética também, a esse histórico genético também, entendeu? Eu queria falar isso mais à frente, senão eu vou perder o raciocínio do que eu estava falando, porque esse é um outro assunto, né, irmão? Mas você tá me entendendo?
Sim. So, like, basically, we spoke about a lot, but he's basically speaking about the basics in the sense that it's really difficult to build a relationship when a lot of Black Brazilians do not have phones, do not have cars. They have the experiences of many people in rural Africa. So, any type of commercial relationship that could build some of the basics would be helpful. And he also spoke about some of the propaganda with respect to, genetic analysis in the sense that it's very complicated because you have a lot of people who come from a mixed background, but they still identify themselves as Black. You also have certain people who may be majority white who may weaponize, let's say, if they have a Black great great grandparent, and they may use the quota system in Brazil to get some, privilege in terms of college placement. And there was recently a law in Brazil that said that you have to look Black in order to receive quotas. So you also may have a situation where someone may look Black, but because of some of the flaws of genetic analysis, they may come out majority European due to some of the errors of the methodology of principal component analysis, which is a more unique genetic factor. But Ali's saying that in politics, it's very destructive because there's a lot of Black people in Brazil who, they don't necessarily have a link to their ancestry. And there's a lot of bad political actors who will try to limit the consciousness of Africa by saying that Brazil is a majority European society, which is completely contrary to the truth. So in that sense, like that's a whole different other topic and a whole different other live, dealing with some of the problems and the weaponization of genetics within Brazil. And he said that we would have to be here for another few hours to break that down. But generally speaking, the majority of the population of Brazil has an African heritage, and the majority of the population is struggling. So it's very difficult to build a relationship in terms of Pan-African development without meeting the basic needs of food, shelter, water, access to the internet, a good job, a good car. It's extremely difficult for them to engage within a political project when those basic needs are not met. So any type of movement to build a commercial relationship between Black people across the world would have to start with meeting those basic needs first.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jerome. Welcome to our show. It's been a long time, but also, Brother Eugene, I see you there. If you have any question, I'll come back to you in a second. So I think that the fact is this. I think Dr. Khalid Mohammed said this. I don't remember who said this also, but I think even Dr. Umar Johnson even repeat this. So it doesn't matter where you go to. Anytime you have Black and white, you will always find Black people on the bottom of everything in terms of economy, and you will find white people are dominant in terms of economy. So it doesn't matter if it's Muslim nation, it doesn't matter if it's capitalism or socialism, whoever it is, or Christian nation or Hindu or Buddhist, anywhere you go, you find that. And we do understand that because I am in Africa. I've been in many countries here in Africa, so I know exactly how our people are suffering when it comes to economy. Some of our people can't even make food cannot even make it 2 times meal to eat by day. So that is absolutely understandable. And you guys, you know where we lost it. We lost that on Marcos Garvey. If Marcos Garvey plan could have worked, today we would have our own Wall Street, we would have our own economy that we can control, because the game we are playing in is designed to beat us, is designed as to fail. That's why you see like Congo DRC or Angola, you can possibly say, the most of producing gas, but is poor country. There's not even food because the system we have is just designed to beat us down. So I think that we have to face that as what it is. Now, I have a question. By the way, I can pick up here and there in Portuguese, of course. I may not be able to understand the whole things, but most of these things you are saying, it sounds like Spanish, which I speak a little bit. So I want to ask you about cultura, culture in Brazil, Black people culture. What is the status of Black people culture as African? I don't like to use Black people, but also I think it's good to say that. So what is the culture? What is the cultura of Black people in Brazil?
Quer falar alguma coisa com relação à pergunta dele ou já eu respondo?
Yeah, go ahead and respond.
You understand. Ok. Com relação à cultura brasileira, ela é toda negra, é toda africana, toda africana e nativa americana, né? Basicamente é isso. Até os portugueses, quando chegaram no Brasil, eles já chegaram com uma cultura dos africanos, né? Dos mouros, né? E aqui a população que veio para cá construiu a cultura brasileira, ao ponto do Brasil querer anexar a cultura brasileira com Getúlio Vargas à cultura africana, já que o Brasil não tinha uma significância cultural. As manifestações culturais eram todas africanas e nativas, né? O que acontece é que é como os meios de produção, né? Os nossos antigos, eles produziam suas comidas, produziam suas roupas, produziam seus remédios. A cultura passou pela mesma coisa, e a espiritualidade, né, que existe uma cultura, a espiritualidade que chamam de religião afro-brasileira, como o candomblé, umbanda, que são religiões, e chamam de religiões, né, afro-brasileiras, que estão anexadas aqui no Brasil, né, mas são de origem africana. Assim como toda a música no Brasil, como o samba, maracatu, o pagode, milonga, todas essas músicas são africanas ou são nativo-americanas, entendeu? Nenhuma dessas músicas são portuguesas. E aí o pessoal fala muito que os instrumentos de corda foram anexados pelos portugueses, mas a gente sabe que os instrumentos de corda também são africanos, né? São da região do Mali ali, então é praticamente toda africana, mas não adianta a gente ter uma cultura africana no Brasil e o Brasil colocar como se fosse uma cultura brasileira, sendo que esses africanos não têm acesso ao dinheiro que essa cultura fornece, eles não têm visibilidade dentro da própria cultura deles. Hoje em dia, tu vê os mestres dessa cultura são pessoas brancas, entendeu? E quem tem acesso ao dinheiro, a essa cultura negra, são as pessoas brancas, né, os latinos, né? Então, basicamente, a cultura brasileira ela é toda africana e nativa americana, não são brasileiros, mas é o Brasil que tem poder sobre essa cultura, é o Brasil que usufrui sobre essa cultura. Os negros não estão usufruindo sobre algo que é deles aqui, entendeu?
I heard a little bit of it because I kind of hopped off. But basically what he said was that the core of Brazilian culture in the music, with samba having a heavy influence, the food, feijoada being the staple, which is a food from the enslavement of Africans, eating the slop from the pig that the slave master didn't want, the culture, the dance, all of that is African, and if it's not African, it's Native American. But Black people don't really have control over their own culture because there's a lack of infrastructural development. So there's many different avenues, I would assume, to build, a relationship, a commercial relationship, just based upon the monetization of Black culture. But you have to start with a consciousness first, and everything else will come after that. And I'm gonna have to go, so I'm not gonna be able to to help out because I have to go pick someone up.
Okay.
But if you guys don't mind, like I posted my channel link in the comments on the stream chat. So if you could share that to the comments or post it later on, I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope that if Ali's available and if we're all available, we could come on and have this chat again.
Thank you, Brother Cam, for tuning in with us this afternoon.
Absolutely. Have a good night, guys.
Same here, brother. Black power, brother.
Black power.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna continue a little bit. We're almost finishing. Brother Eugene, do you have any question for him? And now, Mr. Jamal, you're gonna have to speak English now. Your English is gonna come out. You're gonna mix, no problem. There is no problem, but try your best to the point that we can possibly get some points. So, Brother Eugene, do you have any question for him?
No, well, I just want to say to you, Brother Ali, thank you for coming on and tuning in with us tonight on the New Africa Network. And certainly the information that you're providing to us about Brazil itself is very vital and important information that the African diaspora does want to know about. And when it comes to culture, I certainly feel that despite what the other gentleman was saying, that many of the African people there are unconscious about who they are as a people, I fail to think not. And I believe that our African brothers and sisters do know who they are and have a very strong connection to their African identity, despite as what's being said. However, I do feel that there has been a great divide to keep Black Brazilians disconnected from what's going on in the African world itself. And that is certainly built by design by the powers to be. That is so that they are able and capable of controlling the people themselves. But again, we are the new breed leader African generation that has much more information and technology in our access to be able to learn from and also to be able to put the powers that be in check when necessary. So, Brother Jamal, I know we're getting a little bit more into the night here, and it's getting to be late both here in the West and also in the East. And certainly we want to, again, thank you for coming on to the program. We do have resources that we can connect the African Black Brazilians into to be able to learn more about themselves and also learn how to organize more as a collective group of people, but also understanding that you have people on your side that is outside the continent of South America. We are a united front of people, and certainly you spoke about the Black Front of Brazil, United Black Front of Brazil. We want to cooperate and perhaps look at dialoguing, and to also have those individuals, those intellectuals like yourself, to be able to connect with us, to cross-share information, but not also talk about the problems, but seeing how that we can come up with solutions to our Black problems. So thank you, brother. Any last information that you would like to share with us about do you have a website or contact information that the people can reach out to you?
Ô, irmão, tu tem como traduzir algumas coisas que...
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead, brother Ali.
Okay.
Any information you would like to can share about your organization? Contact information, contactos.
Yeah. You want to speak English or Portuguese?
Just speak English, please.
English.
That'd be fine.
Okay. I think we need to start urgent. Need to start to work together because we work what we do here and you have there. Understand? Maybe no have much African nationalist here, but we need the urgent start to work together because now here in Brazil have much products, much food products, and example meat and much chicken or general food. Brazil, I think, is first or second country in world to produce foods in world. For example, how we connection to work this, understand? Because black people here only work to work similar slave to whites to produce these products, understand? Why we here work together there, brothers in Africa continent and North America, because North America work dollar. In Brazil, have products. In Africa, have other products. How we work together this? I think now is necessary because now I think black Brazilian now this moment is for me is majority is dead people, and I think about my future blacks here. Understand why how we work about these people, about your people.
That's right.
Urgent. I think urgent. We need to work together. I have limitation in words English. I forget much word, but my question to we work together is necessary. Is this how we work? Blacks here have production. In Africans in North America have technology and dollar. African continent have is rich continent is minerals and is your house is my house too. How we work this? Is my question no I to me and you to you too.
Yes, for sure, brother. Well, we thank you for that. And certainly that is what we are here to do, is to bridge the gap between the African peoples in the African diaspora with the African continent. And Brother Mani, he has been doing a tremendous job with doing so since he and I met back in 2019 at the African Union Conference that was held in Washington, D.C. I myself am a prominent business person in my community, but I also serve as an activist in bridging the gap between business and nonprofit organizations. So to be able to provide funding resources as well as talent on the flip side of the coin, that is certainly what we're here to do. As far as business is concerned, this is what the New Africa does best. We are here to connect our brothers and sisters through means of economics. We see Black Power as being a part of Black economics, economics as being a part of Black Power. And it is something of a must that we are to trade with one another to bring up our economic resources. As Brother Jamal said, yes, the African community here in the U.S. is the most strongest dollar producing Black nation here on earth. And certainly we want to be able to utilize the talents and the resources that we have here in America, but not just here, because our brothers and sisters in Africa are a vital connection as well to how we bridge that gap, bringing the constitution of African people together as a one united front of people. We are here because of the jumpstart of the African Industrial Revolution, which is now taking place. And Brazil, the Black Brazilian community, is here coming connected at the right time. There are many new smart cities that are being developed in Africa with bridging of the gap between our African brothers and sisters. We are going to be working closely with you, Brother Ali Jamal, to do so. So we are one united Black people. We are one united Africans. Thank you, brother.
Thank you,
Yeah,
brother.
definitely.
Other question. How you work in construction on African nation in America, on African nation? How I think this new project us on nation, no Black Brazil, Black North America, Black Central America, no, on nation.
Right, right. Well, that's what we're working towards. We're working towards unite the African people worldwide so that we would be as one people as a collective, as a unit, could change the dynamics of the whole entire world. Right now, they have all Black people around the world divided. That's why we are in the conditions that we are, and that's why we experience the economic conditions and blockage that kind of plagues our communities. So yes, with the Black community in Brazil, we're looking forward to connecting, because being Black and being African is our identity. It's not the nation where we are born or living. African peoples were the first civilization. So as we are comfortable in our Black skins, then we realize there's no limitation to what we can do as a united people. We all come from one ancestral connection. And that's what makes us different from everybody else. And for certain, we look forward to working with the Brazilians in developing an educational standard. Educational standard is very important for all of us. And if we can unite our education principles, our legal principles, our just connection as being free Black people, and understanding that, I certainly think we are certainly moving in that direction.
Yeah, definitely. He mentioned about one nation. I think I mentioned this too in the beginning. We need the United States of Africa, something that Kwame Nkrumah he fight for, but he was not able to make it. And not only him, there were other people behind him. But one, we must have the United States of Africa for Black race, and number two, then we can unite people in diaspora or outside of Africa. In Europe, we have big population there. In Asia, we have big population there. We have big population, of course, in the American continent. So we have first to unite Africa first, because once Africa is strong, these natural resources we talk about, the people not being able to eat, that will be the solution. We will be able to give a hand to our fellow brothers in American continent, that we can help them. So yeah, definitely we must. This is essential now. Is first we need to connect. So once you know you have your family in Ethiopia, you have your family in Angola, you have your family in Namibia, you have your family in Senegal, you have a family in Sudan. That is number one. And you have your family in France, you have your family in the US, you have your family in Mexico, in Cuba. Once you know that, now you start to go on one line. So one line means that what they are doing in everywhere is what you are doing in Brazil. That's what you are doing in Argentina. Argentina, unfortunately, our fellow Black people there, I don't think we have that many left there, but possibly there is. So, and then from there, we can come together and create some strong economy. If that's what we want, we can come and create some stronger infrastructure, some strong technology, whatever we want. But first we must unite. First we must come together as one. So yeah, definitely I do strongly believe in that. And for the finishing questions is, Black people in Brazil, they are well known on football. And how do there is any benefits? Do you see any money being made from football to Black people families? Yo creo que tú comprendes lo que yo hablo.
Example, football is similar. Black people in North America, basketball or musicians, but in Brazil, majority Black people play football is blacks from ghetto, understand? And the dream these brothers is playing football, soccer, and have a white woman and have money and drink and party and don't majority, because education he objective no is about he people. If he help he people, no because it's blacks, because it's ghetto, understand? It's different. I see it's different, much difference, specific different anti-culture blacks in North America and Brazil and other regions, because in ghetto, in Brazil, majority people is black, but these people no like he's black. He's scared. He's black. If he have money, he wanna marry white woman. He wanna have children's white. He wanna go to Europa or do party to black white peoples. Have friendly whites. Dream majority. These people have this dream, but have no much. People soccer have conscience, but no much.
Yeah. Hey, brother Monty, that sounds like it's been a lot of brainwashing going on, and we call them type of people the BBBs. They've been brainwashed black people. But certainly, yeah, we also say that, we can't save everybody. You just have to be connected to people who have like-minded interests. And the majority of the people, sometimes they don't get it. You just have a small, isolated group of people who understand exactly what's going on. But it's certainly brothers like you, Brother Ali, to be able to bring that information to the people, the community where you live, those people who do want to have a better understanding about self-identity and being black people and being proud of it, but also realizing that being black is not being stupid neither. I mean, come on. They also have to educate themselves about who it is or where black people come from, because the powers to be, they put us in a position where they want to keep our minds enslaved. They don't no longer have to do it physically, but it's now a mental and psychological process of the after effects of slavery. And we realize that we are positive people. We're the first civilization on earth that built even the pyramids that you see there today. All of that was way before the white civilization come along. And when the truth is told, the people are able to make vital and important decisions about bettering their lives, and also empowering themselves. And so that is certainly what we are about here on the New African Network, about getting the people connected and bringing that vital information. So Black Power to you, Brother Ali, as again, it is certainly a pleasure to have you on the program tonight. And other than that, I just like to put this a little bit before we end the program. This is the New African Network creed. It is, I am an African, regardless of where I was born, where I live, my ethnicity, my religion, my identity is African, God bless Africa. I am African. Black power.
Very good. Thank you so much, Brother
Very good.
Eugene.
Thanks so much, brother. Thanks so much.
Yeah, so I think I was looking to see if I can put that in. I can put that in Portuguese, and I think I can. So now, yeah, definitely we're gonna have to end our program today. But I think I will have to bring him back in. Quick question, the last one. Você tem alguma TV que é apenas para negros ou africanos? Do you understand my question?
No. Yes,
No.
I understand it. I understand your question. No have projects, but no in Brazil no, because the system Brazil. You listen.
Yeah.
You listen.
Wait.
Okay.
My question.
Brazil is criminal. Is this criminal in Brazil? It's criminal. TV only to blacks in Brazil is criminal in law.
Oh man. Okay.
Yes. If I told only TV only to blacks is criminal. But have TVs only whites. But if blacks is criminal.
So, so you cannot have a TV that is just like how it used to be.
Like BET.
Yeah, BET.
Yeah, Black Entertainment Television. They can't have nothing like that. They consider it as being criminal.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking him actually.
BET is Geo TV.
It's owned by Jewish Syndicate now. Yeah, yes. It was purchased by Jewish Syndicate. Mm-hmm.
Yes. In Brazil, if you see, because the population no go accept it, if have TV only blacks.
Well, speaking of BET, there was just an announcement came out a few days ago that Tyler Perry and Byron Allen is going to be looking at taking BET back over so that it can be a predominantly Black-owned organization. So television network. So we'll see how that goes. We'll definitely look out to see what happens in the near future. But yeah, certainly that is very important for Black people to be able to control the dynamics of their journalism, media, and also freedom of speech is very important for us to be able to understand that. So thank you for bringing that up. We would definitely be connecting with you on that.
So if there is no TV, how about YouTubers, people who does like media stuff like that? Do you guys have any?
Yes, have majority have, but similar Black Lives Matters, but have channels in YouTube, and now have brothers from speaking Portuguese from Angola, Mozambique, have channels here too in YouTube. But the ideology no is the Garveyism, no is Black nationalism, is democracy normal. Understand me?
Well, we're gonna put you in that power, brother. We're gonna put you in as the power figure for the Black nationalist movement, and we'll make sure that happen on our watch. That's what we're here for. Ali, you the face of the new Black Power movement in Brazil, brother.
Yeah, because here in Brazil, I worry about my brothers, and is much people have Pan-Africanism or Garveyism, but much brothers is good, is in good situation and hurt, and much brothers dead, and the situation us now nothing good. Understand? We have extra tour, and if conscience, Black conscience is first to constitution. Black people first is have conscience, Black conscience. This man have a Black conscience now. No is good in hurt. No is good in is dead. Is don't have money. It's much problems.
Right. Understand? Right. For sure, brother.
Yes, have oppression in society against us. Very, very precious. And we have to take care of these brothers.
For sure. Well, that's what we're here to do, brother, to unite together so that we can help each other. And we thank you for that information.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I think my questions is ended. Unless maybe there is another thing, just we will keep you in post. We will keep you looking how we can work together to actually spread the message. We African, we are not homosexuality. I saw that you keep talking about Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is like Obama. It's just all the same crap. They come to the scene or the stage because white men give them money and give them agenda, which was to promote homosexuality, something that historically Black people, we don't practice those things. That's why we are majority anyways, because we do take baby, we do give birth to babies. So when I was searching for Afro-Brazilians, the first thing comes up was the Lambo, this homosexuality flag, and is absolutely, that is not our culture. It's not something, even if there is some who practice those, but they practice those behind the doors. It's not something that we publish like Greeks. It's not something that we put in public and on stage like that. So yeah, anyways, anyhow, Black people, we need to teach them that we don't have to be right or left. We don't have to be socialist or communism or capitalism or anything. We only have to be African. And the world, many thousands of years, were in peace when Black people were in charge. They were not slaves. They were not genocide. They were not hungers. They were not disease created. They were not bombing and killing kids. They were not this tragedy of homosexuality that we see around. They were not country invading another countries when Black people were in charge. And we were in charge a long time. So it's not something that we have not done. We can do that and we will do it. So this is time for Africa, this time for Black people in general. And the only thing we need is to connect ourselves. We are extremely strong if we are united. Our survival, como se dice en portugués, nossa sobrevivência depende de nossa unidade, pardon.
Survivor, sobrevivência.
Yes.
De sobrevivência.
Our survival is depend on the unity. Once we united, we will be able to survive. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Emmanuel Hani Paulo. I do love you guys. I love Africa. Africa is me, is who I am, and is who we suffer for. Our children, we will leave them with a clean, good path. We will not leave them as slaves. We will not leave them as brainwashed. We will not leave them as poor and people who have no instructions or information where they are going to, but we leave them as powerful as much as possible. We leave them strongly spiritual, because those who are not free spiritual will never be free physically. So we leave them free spiritual as well. We leave them with the strong culture and identity. We have big identity crisis. Black people want to be white, even though they are maybe black outside, but inside they are white. Everywhere, even here in Ethiopia as well, people are really white inside and black outside. So we have to end this identity crisis. May God bless Africa. May God bless all of you guys. I will see you again on next one. For Brazilians, please bring us all those people who are black people activists, or people who want the good of black people, even the ones who are left or whatever, right or whatever, Black Lives Matter. I believe that the problem is they have not get in contact with people who have right information. Also, we teach them, they will they will abandon that. If they don't, no problem. But I believe a lot of people, once you give them right information, they will be able to leave the idea of white men created, because communism or Marxist or whatever, however you call it, it's all came from white men. It's not from Africa. So give those contact to us so we can connect with them, and then we will teach them the right way to go from now on. Brother Eugene, microphone to you.
Yeah, thank you, brother. And yes, that ends our program for the night. Brother Jamal, Brother Ali, we're here with Brother Ali, Jamal, is it Adesoje?
Yeah, Yoruba, Adesoje Yoruba.
Adesoje, that's right. And he's reporting live from Brazil. And certainly we look forward to having you back on the program, Brother Ali, Jamal, and Black Power to you, brother. And we'll be back in touch with you soon.
Black Power, brothers. It's very important about we talk, and it's very important we work. We continue work together, start to work together to our population, to us economy. And brother Imani, you told about if I speak in Portuguese is problem for me here in Brazil, and criminal if I thought about the homosexuality here, because homosexuality here in Brazil, if I talk about this in Portuguese, is problem for me because it's together racism. Understand? Today in Brazil, racism and homophobia is only one problem. Understand me?
Oh shit. Okay.
Because the movement, black movement, and the GLBT now is together racism and homosexuality. If I talk, I am black man, I am hetero, and I talk, I wanna continue black man and hetero is problem to militants here, to majority black militants, because these people understand racism is homosexual, homophobia is together. Understand me?
Okay.
This other problem is much problems here. Basic problems have here. Understand me?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
No problem. Yeah. So, anyways, Jerome, good night. You guys, I think now you're good night. Me, I'm good morning. Brother Eugene, thank you so much, guys, for coming in. So I'll see you on next Saturday with a new special guest. I think he's gonna come from Chad. We're gonna be facing French now and Arabic. Today was Portuguese. So God bless you guys. Jerome, go ahead.
Black supremacy, brothers.
All right.
All right.
Hey, Yohani.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah, we finished.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are you at? Airport?
I am in Laysack in Silver Spring.
Huh?
I am in Laysack restaurant in Silver Spring, downtown Silver
Oh,
Spring.
you're in a restaurant?
Remember Laysack?
Okay.
On Fenton.
Yeah, so okay.
I'm here with my friend Biniam from Ethiopia.
Oh, okay, very good.
I met him in High Hulet. He's here now.
How come you're dressing like that? It's very cold over there?
It's cold, yes, it's cold. It's cold.
Oh,
Very
really?
cold. Yeah.
Oh,
It's winter time. It's still winter. It's almost spring, but it's still no snow. We didn't get any snow. Only rain.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so anyways, thank you for coming today. It's been a long time I haven't seen you, man.
Yeah, I just been really busy and not well, as you know. Sometimes I was not, but yeah. I'm feeling better today.
Okay. Okay, very good. Yeah. So, anyways,
in fact, I have to go to work. If I have to go to work tonight, I want to do a few rides tonight. But I did not work this whole week, but I was recovering.
Okay. Okay, no problem. So, anyways, I wish you a wonderful one. I'll
Okay.
see you again. Okay.
Okay, see you later.
All right.
Good night. Bye.
All right. Good night.
Let me start by position. So the struggle for independence was everywhere across the world, across the continent of Africa. So when on the 6th day of March, Ghana regained her independence as Ghana, it was then Gold Coast. I think the most eloquent and the most passionate warrior for Pan-Africanism was Nkrumah. He said on that day, and again later, that the independence of Ghana means nothing if the rest of Africa is not free. And he meant it, because when Ghana regained independence in 1957, 1 year later, Guinea regained her independence. A year later, the French Sudan, or what we now call Mali, regained her independence. They signed a pact to create what they call the African Union. They thought at that time that that would be Africa in her embryonic days. And they invited Patrice Emery Lumumba in 1961, but of course Emery Lumumba was then assassinated in the month of January 1961. And he won. This is one of the things that always stands out in my mind. That Nkrumah, of all leaders at that time, was able to see that if we were not united, we would go nowhere. So in 1958, he summons a meeting in Accra, Ghana, of the then independent African countries and tells them, if we don't unite now, the neo-colonialist is going to ensure that we remain disunited and we remain small, and they are going to ensure that the neo-colonial project continues. In 1961, on the first day of January, again in Casablanca, Morocco, he tells his audience, let us unite now, before each one of our leaders begins to get used to power, because power is easy to get used to. You who